Hey, what's going on, you guys? My name is the Raptor, and welcome back to another one of my reaction videos. So today I'm going to be reacting to the new episode of Death Battle which just came out, which is Yoda versus King Mickey. This is the first episode of Season 8, and I am personally super hyped for this one. I was initially disappointed that Yoda wasn't going to be fighting Meta Knight, but the more that I think about this fight, the more I am actually really excited for it. And of course, we haven't had Death Battle in so long, so it's really awesome that we get to do this again. It's really, really cool. In terms of who I think is going to win, or I guess first of all, I'm definitely rooting for Yoda. I'm rooting for Yoda all the way. Like, I like Star Wars more than Kingdom Hearts. Yoda is actually my favorite Star Wars character. I think it's really cool that if anything, he's coming to Death Battle. So I'm rooting for Yoda 100% all the way. No offense to anyone who likes Kingdom Hearts. I just personally like Yoda more. But in terms of who I think is going to win, right now I'm leaning more towards Mickey. Of course, the analyses could change my mind, but right now I just feel like Kingdom Hearts is a more powerful world than Star Wars. Even when you look at things like Legends, it just seems like Mickey would be, you know, more durable and more powerful. I feel like he would have stronger abilities in general, so I feel like all of that is probably going to overwhelm Yoda. I could see Yoda having some sort of speed advantage, and I could see him maybe having some stronger abilities, but in general, I think that, you know, Mickey's just going to be able to overwhelm him. Of course, if Yoda wins, then I'll be satisfied, or at least if Yoda wins and if they give a good reasoning for it, then I will be satisfied. But I don't want to waste too much time here because I am super excited to watch this episode, so yeah, let's get on with it.
Thank you to Harry's for sponsoring this episode.
Too often, we gotta choose between quality and a fair price. But with Harry's, that ain't a
I'm
problem
gonna skip through this.
$16 value.
Death Battle's gonna make the money off of this sponsorship anyway, so.
Death to redeem your offer.
Dairy Jedi Master.
Oh no, too far. Okay, here we go. It's been a while since I've done this. This feels good,
Yoda,
though.
the legendary Jedi Master of Star Wars fame.
And King Mickey, His Highness of Disney Castle from Kingdom Hearts.
These two have proven time
They're
and
switching
time
it up a
again
bit. That's
that
kinda
size
cool.
matters not.
But let's see which of these tiny titans can swing their way to victory in a one-on-one duel. He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their
Come on,
weapons,
Yoda, I'm
armor,
rooting
and
for ya.
skills to find out who would win a death battle.
And the animation looks pretty dope, too. And they have, like, the 10-year stamp on that. That's cool.
A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away, a Jedi there was. Master he is. Yoda his name.
Yep.
You're not going to keep doing that, are you?
Tell me what to do. You cannot.
Okay, the mysterious
Yeah, that'll pop up a bit
Grand
more,
Master
I'm
Yoda
sure.
devoted his life to the ways of the Force and to leading the Jedi Order, a group of noble peacekeepers. They
Star
took
Wars
it
in
upon
general is just
themselves
awesome.
to maintain a state of tranquility
Even
in
at
the
its
galaxy.
worst, I still
Don't be
enjoy
fooled
it.
by all that talk of peace, though. They're like superhuman samurai.
Hey,
Jedi
Mandalorian.
consistently take on hordes of baddies by themselves, and they've been doing it for centuries, way before the start of the Galactic Republic.
At which point the
Yeah,
Jedi
the extra
became
content
much
is
more
really cool.
entangled in, let's just say, government affairs.
Oh, sure, that's what the space wizards were missing. Politics.
Of course,
The Jedi
yes.
Council began weighing in on various matters to both protect democracy and avoid violent conflicts.
Except they kinda screwed the porg on that front. The Clone Wars
Chewie.
wasn't just a fantastic series by George Lucas and Dave Filoni. It was also an awesome miniseries by Genndy Tartakovsky.
Yeah.
And it was a horrific war that wiped out the Jedi, erased the
So
Republic,
they're really
and saw
doing the
rise
origin
the
of
Empire.
Star Wars in
Sure,
general,
that
not
too.
just
Spoilers,
Yoda.
man.
As the Jedi Grand Master, Yoda
Okay, we're
led
back
the
to Yoda.
Grand Army of the Republic, a military force almost entirely comprised of clones, aka disposable people.
Man, that gets
Well,
really
yeah.
messed up if you think about it too long. So I won't.
Despite
Yeah,
his
good
small,
idea.
frail appearance, Yoda could absolutely hold his own in combat. In fact,
A
he's
peculiar
considered one of
speech
the
pattern
most
he has instead
powerful
of the
Jedi
bottom.
of his era.
He's trained all the greats like Obi-Wan, Mace Windu, and even Liam Neeson.
Yep.
Where do you think he got that particular set of skills from?
Yeah, Yoda.
All of Yoda's
Definitely.
900 years of experience certainly came in handy, like when he battled Count Dooku and Darth Sidious, two of the most powerful Sith Lords ever known.
Well, Sidious,
Both Jedi
absolutely,
and
yeah.
Sith usually come with the standard issue lightsaber, a badass weapon for a more badass age. They're pretty versatile too, with 7 different forms of combat styles.
He's mastered,
And
like,
don't
all of
think
them, hasn't
Yoda's
he?
gonna miss out on all that laser sword
Looks like,
swinging.
yeah.
He's mastered all 7 styles.
There we
even
go.
though he's only 2 feet high. Hell, most lightsabers are taller than he is.
Which is why he specializes in the 4th form, Ataru. This style focuses on utilizing the Force to increase a Jedi's capabilities, allowing them to attack
Makes
at
sense.
blurring speeds with incredible precision.
Basically, he can flip-flop
He kind of
around
needs
like
to
a
rely
ninja
on
frog.
that.
Wait, is he actually Kermit?
This does still mean Yoda has a sort of handicap in physical combat, as his stature requires him to use the Force far more than
Although
most
that wouldn't be a
opponents
huge
just to
problem
keep up.
against
While
Mickey,
the Force is
because he's
beyond
also
the body
small,
and seemingly
at least
infinite,
to some degree.
too much effort all at once can put a strain on a person and even kill them. However,
Yeah.
Yoda is truly a master of the Force, potentially more so than any other Jedi. He has moved
Yeah?
starships with his mind and lifted hundreds of droids at once.
He can also use mind tricks, illusions, and a technique called Tuna Minus. That's what
Yep.
Jedi blocker
That could
catch
come in
and
handy
redirect
against someone like
energy,
Mickey.
like lightning, blaster bolts, or even other lightsabers.
It's safe to say that Yoda greatly prefers using the Force in combat over his Jedi weapon.
Yeah.
Wiz, if I ever
And
get one of those
Obi-Wan was
laser
kind of the
swords and
opposite
toss it
when they
away,
had Obi-Wan
you totally
versus
have permission
Kakashi.
to kill me.
Interesting. Dummy? Well, just let me see your hand.
My hand.
Back with
now.
Dummy.
Okay, now place your finger there.
No? Geez, Marshall would never make me do something like this.
Marshall? Who's Marshall?
Huh? Oh, the DBX Ringmaster guy. That's his real name. We were roommates in college. He's
Oh.
helping me track down my dad because he's my best bud.
Oh, best bud, huh?
Oh no.
What the hell was that?
Finally, I won't be the only one.
Wait, what just happened?
Anyway,
Yeah, I'm
the Force
confused.
is
Okay, that went on a
capable of
little
much
too
more
long.
than a lightsaber. Kip Duron, a Jedi whose potential has been compared to Yoda,
Yep.
utilized it to move a gravity well-generated void. Basically, a black hole created by a ship. To strike the right balance of pressure in order to move a singularity, theoretically, you would need to exert an energy output equivalent to almost 14 petatons of
Yeah.
TNT.
Jedi
That's
are
what they said
also
in Obi-Wan
super
versus
fast.
Kakashi,
They've
yeah.
blocked blaster bolts, of course, but they can also
Which is
keep up
surprisingly
with
not
droid
enough to
tri-fighters
destroy
and
planets.
Magna-Guards, which both are clearly stated to have near light speed reflexes. Holy crap,
Mhm.
who's building these things?
Furthermore, Jedi can use the Force to glimpse into the distant future through meditation.
Yeah.
They can even allow the Force to guide their movements and predict danger in advance. Needless to say,
Which is good when they're
all
fighting
of these
non-Jedi.
incredible feats would be impossible without the Force.
But
Yeah.
with powers like that and a dash of political meddling, it was only a matter of time before these peacekeepers became soldiers. Even generals.
In a surprising move, Yoda actually chose to engage the rising separatist threat with an army of his own.
Yeah.
Personally kicking off
That was
the
kinda
Clone
weird.
Wars himself.
Too bad it was, as the fishman says, a trap.
Yeah.
The war took a sour turn, and the demise of the
Oh.
Jedi became all but assured.
No,
By the
Anakin,
time
don't
they
do
put
it.
the pieces together, it was too late. The Order fell into darkness.
More like brutally murdered into darkness. And you know, it's kind of their fault in a way. They were so committed to talking about peace, but at the same time, they're like really, really good at killing people.
Yeah.
Why do peacekeepers need to be so specifically trained in murder?
These-
So
the Jedi are so
uncivilized.
specific in
Wiz,
what,
get
you know,
over
they
yourself.
can and
If
can't
you had a
do.
lightsaber, you'd want to use it as much as you could too.
Though
least
the
in
Jedi
words.
Order under Yoda did seem somewhat hypocritical, he would come to realize his follies, like the Council's sanctimonious excuses for betraying students like Ahsoka when they were needed most.
Yeah.
They ripped out our sweet Padawan rat tail, you assholes! But yeah, he finally figured out war's not make one great. Especially if you're a tiny green muppet.
Haunted by his mistakes and perturbed
Or a
by the
CGI
violence
thing.
he helped bring upon the galaxy, Yoda went into self-imposed exile. He even gave up his lightsaber, and finally, he would train one last apprentice,
Yep.
Luke Skywalker.
Yoda taught Luke everything he could before finally becoming one with the Force,
Oh,
gaining
Yoda,
immortality as a
don't
spooky
go.
blue spirit, just like Obi-Wan and Liam Neeson.
And Luke, he went on to reverse many of the mistakes of Jedi's past, ending
Are
the
they gonna
Empire,
allow Yoda to
redeeming
keep
his
fighting as a
father,
Force
bringing
ghost?
balance to the Force, and inspiring
he's still
a new,
dead.
different generation.
I don't know.
In the end, Yoda's greatest lesson of all was that oftentimes failure is our greatest teacher.
I don't believe it.
Agreed.
That is why you fail.
Okay, now King Mickey.
Mickey Mouse, Disney's OG OC. You know him as a cute corporate mascot that hangs out with other cute animals and lives a pretty normal domestic
That's
life.
mostly how I
But
know him,
did
yes.
You know he's also an insanely powerful warrior mage that fights darkness to save the Disney
Yes,
universe
he's
alongside
also
a
that.
young boy and his good old duck and dog buddies.
That's
No,
Goofy,
Dog,
isn't
the
it?
other one.
Yeah.
Yes, welcome to the world of Kingdom Hearts, a collection of worlds.
Yeah, I'm gonna
where
need somewhat of an
Kingdom Hearts
introduction
is
to
the
this.
Heart of the worlds and the source of ultimate wisdom and power across all kingdoms and worlds.
You know, my
Okay.
favorite thing about Kingdom Hearts is how straightforward it is.
Right.
My favorite part is how it's ruled by that 92-year-old mouse wizard.
Yep. Here he
yeah,
isn't
he's
just
like,
Mickey.
yeah, he'd be
He's
around that
King
age.
Mickey, the ruler of Disney
like
Castle and the
1928
leader
or
of the
something?
Guardians of Light,
Was when he
a
was
group
made?
of Keyblade wielders who combat
I think that's the
darkness.
right year.
King Mickey and the other Guardians, like Sora, remember him?
Yes,
Protect
I
the
do.
worlds using magic and powerful weapons known as Keyblades.
Yep.
Those things are the real deal. They can perform a whole bunch of spells, deflect lasers, and even unlock almost anything. Get it? Because they're keys.
Yep.
Mickey swung a lot of keys around, but his current and best is his star cluster.
The king
Right.
underwent rigorous
I did
training
hear
as an
about that.
apprentice to the great sorcerer Yen Sid. After
Oh,
some
yeah, that guy.
incidents
Yeah.
involving a few too many brooms, he eventually became a
Still wanna
sorcerer
see
and Keyblade
Fantasia
master
again.
himself.
Keyblades are basically like wands that can channel the user's magic for spells like Pearl, Mind Shield, and Faith Volley, which are all based on light energy magic.
He can also
Makes sense.
heal himself and others with Kiraga and Healing Light. And that's honestly still just the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah, he's
With
got a
the
lot of
Stanza
abilities.
Spell, he can freeze time for the length of an entire battle. Damn.
Then there's
Like, could
Mickey's
Yoda
most
defend
powerful
against
and
that?
most legendary spell, Ultima, which is basically a massive, devastating release of all of Mickey's light magic at once.
The only downside is these spells do require a lot of magic energy to use, which is also limited to Mickey's own energy. Also, he does need the Keyblade to channel it. There's not much the mouse
Okay.
can do without his Keyblade, except for be a cute and cuddly mascot.
Well, even
So I
if
guess
he
that's
does
something
lose
Yoda
it,
would
Mickey
have. He
can
would have
immediately
a
summon
better
the Keyblade
supply of
back to his
energy.
hand.
Whoa, let me try.
Boomstick, if you really want another beer, just go get one.
Whoa.
God, it works.
No, it was just me.
Well,
Okay, that
Keyblades
was
can
good. I
also
like
be
that.
used to lock worlds and doors in order to keep out Heartless, which are corrupted beings split from the darkness of a person's heart with a desire to consume.
Wait a second, Wiz. Pluto is a dog, but so is Goofy. But Goofy gets to walk around and fight with Sora and Donald, and Pluto
This
just eats
friggin'
and
thing,
sleeps
yeah.
like a normal dog. This must mean that Pluto is Goofy's Heartless.
Do you have a concussion?
Oh, always. On top of all of his
Always.
advanced magic, Mickey's mega tough. When Heartless stack up, they can form a huge mass and take the shape of a giant twister called a Demon Tower. And Mickey's tanked a couple beatings from him.
He's also survived
Wow.
this huge explosion from when the Keyblade was destroyed.
Yeah, he means the X-Blade. It's just pronounced like Keyblade.
How
even
powerful would
though
that
it's
be,
just
though?
One Keyblade. The series is so confusing.
Most
Yeah, it
Keyblades
sounds
are
like
capable
it.
of equally incredible feats. Sora could slice through several buildings with his Keyblade, and Mickey's rescued him on more than one occasion. Which makes sense, he's the leader after all, and can
Yeah.
match any of them in power.
But Sora's no joke. He went up against Hercules, a demigod that launched a 1,600-ton rock titan into space. But
Yeah.
that's nothing compared to his dad, Zeus. That guy can move stars, and not even he can compete with the foes that Mickey's tangling with.
The Guardians
Damn.
of Light and their Keyblades are immensely strong, but they also have great speed to match. Roxas's heart was able to move far above the speed of light in order to travel across galaxies, from the Radiant Garden back to the Keyblade Graveyard in a matter of seconds.
What?
And like any brave ruler, Mickey's also remained a constant pillar of hope for all, even during some of the darkest times.
And with the help of his friends, the king was able to bring the darkness to an end and stop Xehanort, a Keyblade master hell-bent on getting the power of Kingdom Hearts.
While Sora battled Xehanort, Mickey and the rest of the Guardians finally closed Kingdom Hearts for good, preventing
Good.
the power from falling into the wrong hands.
That mouse had it all figured out. The real key to saving the world is your friends. If each one of them also has a super powerful magic sword,
Yes.
that's also a key.
Despite his
Well, you need
long
that in a
journey,
friend. That's
King
what all my
Mickey
friends
never
have.
wavered and led the way with his optimism, perseverance, and most important of all, the light inside.
It's really cool how both Yoda and Mickey are like heroes of light.
Don't worry. There will always
Those kind of
be a
connections
door
Sora
to
and
the
Pit
light.
actually had too.
All right, the
So King Mickey seems
combatants are
pretty
set.
cool.
We've run the data through all possibilities.
But first, if you want some extra force in the sack, try out Blue Chew.
Yeah, okay, so we got an ad that we gotta skip through.
Go to BlueChew.com to
Pills,
Still
that's
advertising
no problem
Blue Chew
either.
of all
Blue Chew's
things.
sildenafil, and today we've got a
I don't want to
special deal for
overshoot
you.
it though.
and we just wanted to say thank
Okay. Jeez, okay, so I'm gonna back up actually. Okay, so we're gonna go from there. So now I want to make a prediction for who I think is gonna win. This is how I normally do it. It's been a long time since I've done a death battle reaction. It's been a long time since we had a death battle. So here's the thing. If we just look at the numbers that they gave out, then it seems that King Mickey overall is better, or at least the things that he could scale to is better. Like, they said that Zeus could move stars, and, you know, but then again, would moving a star versus moving a black hole, because moving a black hole is not the same as, like, destroying a planet, but at the same time, moving a star is not the same as, like, destroying a star, you know? So they didn't give exact numbers for that, but I don't know, like, would moving a star be more impressive than moving a black hole? They did say, though, that Mickey was still able to fight villains that are stronger than that. And then in terms of speed, they talked about how, you know, Jedi can move near the speed of light, whereas Mickey, you know, he scales to people who can move across galaxies, which would put them past the speed of light. So that could imply that Mickey is faster. And again, in terms of, like, scaling based on the villains that he fought, I'm inclined to say that he'd be more powerful, but I wouldn't be surprised if Death Battle throws out some numbers which reveals, like, oh no, it's not actually quite that powerful. And it's clear they're not going all the way up to, like, the universal scaling, which I thought they might have done. You know, again, it's all just based on how you want to handle the characters. And the whole, like, thing about the time stop, you know, I feel like if Mickey just does that, what does Yoda have against that? He can, like, see the distant future, or not the distant, the not so distant future or whatever, to predict moves. But again, you know, he would have to be able to react quickly enough in order to be able to stop Mickey every single time from using that spell, or really using any spell at all for that matter. And I'm not sure if Yoda, you know, would have such a big speed advantage that he would be able to do that, if he even has a speed advantage at all, like I said before. The one thing that I keep going back to, though, is that Yoda does have, like, the Force is everywhere. Yoda can't exactly run out of Force energy, but they said that the magic that the Kingdom Hearts characters use has a limited supply, and if Yoda gets disarmed, you know, if Mickey disarms his lightsaber, then Yoda can just summon it back. But, you know, if King Mickey loses his Keyblade, then, you know, he loses a lot of his magic, and I'm not sure if he can just get it back so easily. So, you know, there are some things I feel like Yoda has over Mickey, and the whole thing about how, you know, he has to use the Force in order to be able to combat bigger opponents. Well, Mickey's not really a bigger opponent, though, so I don't know if that will actually mean he can use more Force energy for, you know, as not a handicap, but more so to increase his abilities. I'm not really sure. They are pretty vague on this, so it is a little tough for me to judge. All I know is that I'm still rooting for Yoda, but based on the research that I did for this fight, I'm still inclined to say that King Mickey would win. But I don't know. If Yoda wins, at this point I won't really be surprised. I'll know some of the reasoning that they've done, or I'll know some of the reasoning that I'll know some of the reasoning that they use, and I'll also know, you know, I'll figure that it's basically because they calculated better things for Yoda. So, again, I'm rooting for Yoda. As long as they can give some good reasoning for it, I will be happy if Yoda wins. But I guess I'm still thinking that King Mickey's gonna win. I don't know. We'll see. I'm really just excited for this fight. So without further ado, let's get into it.
But right now,
It's time for a death battle! Alright, let's go. It's been too long. Way too long. I listened to the track a bit ahead of time. It sounds pretty cool.
Difficult to find, you are. A king, you must be.
And to challenge me, you must be a master.
The voices are pretty nice. Okay, let's do this. Yeah, this is what we saw from the preview. But now we get new stuff. Ooh! So the lightsaber's not... Oh, you disarmed him already.
A wealth of power.
Oh, did he just summon it back, or...
If you say so.
He's like, okay.
My first duel. This is not.
Right.
You could have fooled me.
I do like the voice acting. Might not be perfect, but I really like it.
Proof you are. That size matters not.
Right back at you, pal.
I love how they're both, like, you know, still whimsical throughout the fight. And ow! Oh, crap! Come on, Yoda, you're better than that. Oh. There we go. His cane? Ooh.
The path to victory. This is not the Force. I must trust.
So now he's using the Force.
Oh, God.
Come on, Mickey, you've dealt with worse. You've dealt with villains bigger than that. I'm just worried about, you know, if Mickey loses his magic, then he's dead. Yikes!
You sure are strong, but it's time to
Still want Yoda to win, though. There's the illusions. This is pretty cool. I like this.
Surrender, you should. The power of the Force, you have not.
I can try. All I need is the light.
Is that Ultima? I don't know if that was Ultima, but it didn't take him out.
There is no try.
Do or do not, there is no try. I have no idea where this is headed. Oh, there it is!
What a shame. What happened?
Worry do not. One with the Force, I am.
Laugh it up.
So he
Oswald.
died. Okay, I figured.
That little green rascal.
A little
A troll to
disappointed
the
because I
bitter
wanted
end.
Yoda to win,
I
but
love it.
The Grand Master
I was
Yoda
right.
was one of the most
So I have
powerful
that.
Jedi of all time, but the Force was ultimately no match for the light.
Yoda's
No.
gotta be one of the best sword fighters Mickey's ever faced, and definitely gave him a run for his money.
While Jedi have battled foes with near light speed reactions, a Keyblade Guardian like Mickey could move several times faster. In
Exactly.
order for Roxas to travel across at least 4 star systems, he'd need to be moving almost 170 million times faster
well,
than light.
They've also rubbed shoulders with guys like Hercules and Zeus, who moved whole stars. There are hundreds of celestial bodies there. The energy needed to
Oh,
move
yeah,
that
it's
many
multiple
is
stars.
way more than what would be needed to move a black hole.
And while Yoda doesn't
I didn't even
have
think
much
about
of an
that.
obvious weakness himself, the problem is neither does King Mickey. At least nothing that Yoda could really take advantage of.
Even if Yoda could figure out that King Mickey had a limited amount of magic energy to cast spells with, there wasn't much Yoda could do before it would start to replenish.
And the Force
I
isn't
see.
exactly limitless either. Too much strain has been proven to put a lot of stress on the body.
In that
and
case,
even
yes,
kill
it's not
some Jedi
limitless.
in the past. These two were certainly a match for each other in many ways, but the King's superior speed, power, and magic meant he had the last laugh. Well, sort of.
Sorry, Yoda,
They both have
but
great laughs.
M-I-C-K-E-Y-M-O-U are dead.
The
Oh,
winner is King Mickey.
wow. Well, yeah, I had a
Thank you
feeling.
for watching. Stay tuned. We'll be jumping into the next matchup next week. But you can always get more Death Battle
Jumping
right
into the next
now by
matchup
clicking one
next
of those
week.
boxes right over there, and by downloading the battle
Oh, okay,
music
probably
linked
just the
in
preview you
description.
need, not the actual episode. Okay, who's next? Oh, Shadow and Ryuko. Okay. Yeah, I figured. If we just pause it right there. Yeah, so Shadow versus Ryuko, March 21st. Right now, well, that's March 21st for first members, so March 22nd for YouTube. And yeah, this is March 8th for YouTube. So yeah, 2 weeks from now, we're getting Shadow versus Ryuko. So we are getting another one of the teased combatants. We're getting Ryuko, who was teased at the end of Hulk versus Broly, and we're getting Shadow, who is coming back for another time. It's his third time on Death Battle. So I have some things to say about this fight based on who I think would win and just my overall thoughts about it, which I'll have in my prediction video, which may or may not already be up. It depends on when I can get this video up. I don't know if this is going to go through copyright or anything. But yeah, so I'll have my thoughts on that one. I had a feeling it was going to be Shadow versus Ryuko. Ryuko had a number of different opponents, but I knew that Shadow was the most popular and the one that the researchers, I believe, were pushing for the most. So I knew that this one was going to be coming. Or at least I had a feeling. I didn't know it was going to be this quickly, though. But, you know, here it is. We have Shadow versus Ryuko next time on Death Battle. So, you know, again, I'll have my prediction out for that. But talking about this one, I thought this one was quite good. I really, really did. In terms of, like, the upper limits of their feats, you know, there are some things that I think they could have done a little better. For example, you know, if you buy the universal scaling for Mickey, then, of course, they didn't really talk about that too much. But the numbers that they gave for Mickey, honestly, were just, again, more than enough to satisfy me in terms terms of what they were talking about. With Yoda, though, I do think it was a bit weird they didn't talk about any of the planet-level stuff that some Jedi could scale to, or possibly even further than that. But I know that Death Battle likes to talk about the character's stats conservatively, just because, again, you know, they want to give freedom to the writers, and they don't want to run the risk of overselling characters when they don't need to. So I can understand why they decided to present these characters in the way that they did. And honestly, just, you know, again, their reasoning was still on point based on what the advantages that Mickey had. And, you know, everything that they said, again, I can still get behind it. I can still enjoy it. And the animation, you know, there were some parts where it might have been a little boring just because they were like drawing out attacks for a very long time. But in general, I just thought it was a joy to watch. I thought it was really fun, just with the 3D animation, maybe a little jankiness here and there, but even still, like the amount of work that must have taken, like, holy crap. It looked really cool, like with the light energy and with the force powers, the telekinesis. I like how at some point Yoda's just like, I'm not going to be able to win this with a lightsaber, I need to use the force. Like, that is just so Yoda, and I really appreciate that. And, you know, again, there were some parts of me that were thinking, like, you know, maybe Yoda could outlast Mickey if his force really is, you know, limitless, whereas Mickey's magic is not. But I didn't even think about the fact that, you know, the stamina is still, you know, is still kind of what you need in order to use the force energy, which is not always limitless, you know? It's kind of based on the character, or maybe not even that. But yeah, overall, you know, I thought they did a really good job of presenting the characters. It really made me second guess what I was going in with, you know, who I thought was going to win. So I really appreciate how Death Battle can do that, how they can really present characters well, or at least present them evenly matched, more or less, you know what I mean? So I still thought that was really cool. So yeah, the analyses, I thought they were okay in terms of humor. There was that one point where, you know, Boomstick telekinetically summoned the beer can, but it was actually just dummy. I thought that was quite funny. And there were some just like individual one-off lines I thought were funny as well. Some of the skits, you know, there was one skit in particular in Yoda's section that I thought went out a little too long, but still, you know, I was still able to get behind everything. You know, I still thought it was pretty funny. The whole pun at the end, "Mo, you are dead." I was not expecting that. But yeah, overall, I am very satisfied with this episode, honestly. This, again, like with Obi-Wan Kenobi versus Kakashi, which I personally liked more, if I'm being honest, but like with that one, I got the representation from Yoda that I ultimately wanted. Maybe I would have liked to see a little more in terms of power output, but still, like, this is the Yoda episode I would have wanted to see. Overall, everything hit what I wanted. You know, again, I can still, if I really wanted to nitpick it, I probably could. I could find some things that I didn't like about it, and I'm sure that when I get to my ranking of all the Season 8 episodes, I will find some more reasons to not, you know, give it like a perfect score or anything like that. But as of right now, I am very satisfied with how it turned out. I thought the animation was good. I thought the analyses were good. I thought, you know, the humor was all right, and I thought, you know, yeah, everything really worked. Nothing stood out to me as like, oh, did you really do that, or that looks weird, or anything like that. The new format is also kind of interesting. I wonder if they're going to keep that up, like if they're going to announce the characters beforehand, like at the very beginning of the episode, and then talk about their similarities, because I actually don't mind that too much. There's some times where Death Battle makes changes where I'm thinking like, oh, I'm not really used to that, but I don't know, that might be interesting to see them keep doing. But yeah, ultimately, this is getting me hyped for Season 8. Like with Miles vs. Static, this one is getting me hyped for the new season. I'm really excited to see what happens for later episodes in the season. We already know some of the episodes that are coming, or at least some of the characters that are coming, but still, I'm excited for the surprises, and I'm excited for the episode. I am pretty satisfied by this. But I want to hear what you guys have to say. Did you enjoy it? Did you not enjoy it? Who do you think should have won? Let me know down in the comments below. I'd really like to hear what you guys have to say. If you enjoyed this video, please give this video a like, comment your comments down below, subscribe if you could too, that would be amazing. But no matter what you guys do, thank you all so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. And yeah, that's it for me. I will see all of you guys in the next video. Peace out.